All right, the first thing I want to say is I am not a professional videographer. Everything that I use for my setup is what I use. This does not mean that what I'm doing is right or wrong, or that you should copy my setup. Do what you want to do with your setup. I am not a professional. This is just how I build my camera and what I use it for. So let's just get that out of the way. I've been doing videography since November of 2024. I was given an opportunity by my best friend to be his cameraman. He is a professional esports player in Call of Duty who wanted to start documenting his trips. So he gave me the opportunity to basically just become a videographer for him, and I get to go to all of the events. But since then, I've acquired some gear, and I've been doing this basically as a side job, which I hope to do as a full-time job eventually. So I'm hoping that this is a year, but since then I've acquired some pretty good gear. I would say I've acquired some pretty good gear. I've upgraded it twice. I've bought multiple lenses, sold multiple lenses. So I'm gonna go over everything that I bought. I'm gonna build out my rig. I'm gonna show you guys what I take when I go travel literally across the world to places I've never thought I'd go to. I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I build my rig, what's on it piece by piece, and I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it. The first camera that I was ever given was the Sony ZV-E10, which is sitting in my room somewhere in the closet, and with that came the Sigma A7IV f2.8, which we use basically for the first 6 months of my videography career or journey, whatever you want to call it. That lens basically did it all for me up until I decided, like, hey, I wanted to upgrade. Alongside the Sony ZV-10 with the Sigma A7IV, we rocked the Sony ECM B1M shotgun mic, which I still use to this day when I'm not using these lav mics, which I love. That mic is perfect. It's super small, plugs straight into the shoe, no wires, no batteries, just powers right off of the camera. I think it's one of the best mics you can get, and it's like the mic that I've been using for literally since the day I started, doing anything with videography. After owning the ZV-10 for just a few months, I felt like it was time to upgrade, which sounded crazy to a lot of people because I was still very new. I was still learning literally everything about a camera, but I just wanted to upgrade. There was just something that was telling me, let's just do it, let's just get it over with. So that's when I went and bought my first full frame camera, which is right here. It is the Sony A7IV. This camera is an absolute beast. It does everything. It's photos, it does videos. If you're looking for a hybrid camera, I highly recommend this. This is the one that basically did everything literally up until 3 weeks ago. I upgraded again. Unfortunately, I'm in debt pretty bad. So yeah, I'm in debt a lot of money, but it's okay because you know what? It's gonna be worth it one day, I hope. So after buying the Sony A7IV, I decided it was time to go and get a big boy lens. And big boy lens, indeed, I did get the Sigma 70-200 f2.8, an absolute beast of a lens. I highly recommend this lens. Personally, I don't use it as much as I wish I did. I don't do too much sports or very long distance shooting, but I do plan on doing it this year. This is an absolute game changer if you're going to be doing anything like that. I highly recommend the Sigma 70-200 f2.8. It's way cheaper than the Sony one. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how much cheaper this is. Sigma is, if you're on a budget like me, I promise you, please just go Sigma. Skip Tamron. If you're on a budget, like your budget's on a budget, go Tamron. But if you're just one budget, go Sigma. Trust me, believe me. I'm gonna be building out my rig to show you guys exactly what it looks like, fully built out. So this is a very important lens to have in your setup. There's only 3 lenses I recommend for you to buy. And I'm going to go over the 3 lenses because I think I have the perfect lens setup. But I would say this is number 3 on that list. Please buy one if you have the money, or if you're like me and you just have good credit, put on a credit card. No one's going to know, trust me. The next lens that I used literally daily for months, whether it was vlogging content or corporate business, AI logistics, or automotive content, dirt biking, esports, whatever it was, I was using this small little bad boy right here. This is a Sony 60mm 1.8. It's the most beast of a lens you could buy. It's perfect for low light. If you're like my camera was kind of struggling in that low light, that 1.8 really just helps. It has perfect autofocus. It's literally so small and so compact. You get everything in this tiny little lens. I recommend this lens to have in your setup. You should always have a wide lens in your setup no matter what you're doing. You just never know when you're going to need a wide lens. The 60mm is going to be the one you need. I promise you, spend the money on the 60mm. There is other options. There's a 16-35. but it's a 2.8. The 1.8, huge difference. I didn't think there's gonna be a huge difference in this, and little did I know there's a huge difference. Sony 16 1.8, one of the best lenses you could buy for any sort of content, especially if you're vlogging or if you're doing solo content. You want this lens, I promise you. Now the next lens, I wish I could show you guys this lens. It's literally just think about like being perfect. You've ever been perfect? No one's perfect, but this lens is perfect. I'm using that lens to film this video right now, but it's the Mark 1 24-70 G Master lens. I bought Mark 1 because I was on a budget, but like not Sigma budget. I was on like a Sony budget, and the Mark 2 was like double the price than the Mark 1. I bought the Mark 1 used on Amazon for like 1,100 bucks. It was so worth it. Literally the lens never comes off my camera. It's on there 24/7. I mean, even when I'm not using it, I just want to keep it on there just because I'm like, yo, I got 24-70. Fuck it, might as well just throw it on there. I think it's the best lens you could buy. I don't think there's another lens that's more versatile than this. It fills in that gap between the 16 and the 70. Literally fills in the gap, which is why I think those are the three best lenses you could have: a 16, a 24-70, a 70-200. Now if you're balling and you're not on no type of budget, then you go to the 24-105, then you go do, you know, the 200 to 600, whatever. Way out of my league. I ain't doing none of that. So I'm gonna start building out my rig, show you guys exactly what it looks like on the Sony A7IV, because I just bought an Fx3, which is what I'm using to film this. This is like the first time I've actually kind of used it, and I'm super stoked to use it. The Fx3 has been crazy for what the low light capability that it comes with. Obviously I'm not going to sit here and talk to you guys about the Fx3 because you guys probably know what the Fx3 looks like and what it is. For what I do a lot of esports filming, which is a little bit different than I think what most people do, and those arenas are dark and they're very low light and their lighting sucks like 80% of the time. From what I've been, there's only been like one arena that I've been to, which was in Saudi Arabia, and that arena was insane. But Fx3, 800 base ISO, 12,800 base ISO, I literally can go and just do whatever I want now, and I don't got to spend any more money on my camera setup. I have what I need. It's perfect. And I think if you're looking to buy the most perfect setup you could buy, I say save the money for an Fx3 and a 24-70. You don't need anything else after that. I can almost assure you, you don't need a single thing after that in terms of body or lenses. Now, if you want to go and spend more money, you go buy Fx6, 24-105. That's just way out of my league. The main reasons why I decided to stick with Sony and Sigma lenses, mostly because Sony has image stabilization in the lenses, which is very important to me because I have very shaky hands. Yeah, so I kind of just realized I've been recording this entire video without the noise cancellation on the mic, so I'm hoping it doesn't sound too bad. Luckily I decided to put the little wind thingamabob on there because it is pretty windy out here. So I'm gonna start building out the rig now, I guess. God, I hope I don't have to redo this, bro. Alright, first things first, because I'm using the Fx3 to film, I'm gonna be building it out on the A7IV. It's a pretty simple build in terms of what it comes with. It's literally just a V-mount plate, V-mount battery, top handle, monitor. It's literally all it is. Super simple. You could go over an extreme. You can get a cine bag setup, but that's like $400, and I don't think that's in budget right now. So first thing we're gonna do is put on the V-mount plate with the V-mount battery, and then I'll show you what's next after that. So this is kind of what it's gonna start looking like. It's basically just like any other rig. My rig is nothing special, and I know I'm talking about it like it might be special. It's nothing special. Literally just V-mount plate, V-mount battery. I do have two 99-watt V-mounts that I take with me when I travel, because I was told 99 is the highest you could get when you go on a plane and travel. So I'm not trying to get kicked off a plane because I have too much voltage in my V-mount batteries, because that would be not a good thing. I might miss a flight, and I don't want to miss a flight. I've almost missed one flight in my entire time of flying in the last year, so that was scary because 10-minute layovers are somehow a thing, or 15-minute layovers are somehow a thing for airlines, so that's cool. So I talked about this mic earlier in the video, but this is the Sony shotgun mic. I think it's one of the best mics you can get. It's literally, you can just put it on auto and just leave it. It's perfect. Plugs straight into the shoe, so I'm gonna put that in. This is typically probably the last thing I do, but for the sake of this video I'm just gonna put it in first so you guys can see kind of what it's gonna look like. Yeah, it's a cool rig. I like it. I've only built out the Fx3, which is what I'm recording on, once so far, and it looks sick, but the A7IV looks pretty fucking sick too, I can't lie. So that's basically how the mic would look on there. Now, because this is a mic that has to be plugged into the camera, it has to go directly in the middle. I know you're thinking the A7IV little viewfinder is directly in the middle, so there's a fix for that, and it's kind of wonky, and I don't really suggest it because it does make your camera look a little weird. All you're gonna do is just add a NATO rail to the top, slide it over to the furthest you can get, slide the top handle on there, and that's basically it. With the monitor, it's wonky, it gets the job done. I've used it like that for the last year and a half, and no one's ever said anything that it looks wonky. So it looks wonky to me. If it don't look wonky to you, you know, you might not ever notice it, to be honest. Now, I'm sure there's other ways you guys could, you know, rig this up, but this is basically how my rig looks like so far. This is what I was talking about the NATO rail. I'm sure you can see it in there. Yeah, a little wonky looking, can't lie, but it gets the job done, and that's all that matters when you're filming, is getting the job done. Trust me, the person that's hiring you does not know that you just threw a NATO rail and slid it all the way to the right. No one's gonna know. I promise you, no one is gonna know. Next is a small rig top handle. This one slides directly onto the NATO rail, which I prefer. You don't gotta screw anything on. It literally just slides right in. Pause. Whoa, pause. It just slides straight on, and that's it. That's all you gotta do, is just put it on, and that's it. Now your rig is looking like this. Now, there's other options. Like I said, you could do this way, my way, you could do it your way. Doesn't matter. Point is, like I said, it gets the job done, and no one's gonna know that your setup is a little wonky looking, because no one knew mine was wonky. Probably no one knew I was doing this until I'm showing this video right now, which is kind of crazy. But next, we're just gonna put the monitor on, and that's basically it for the setup. It's super simple. This gets the job done every single time, but I'm gonna show you guys the next step. Okay, this is what it looks like with the monitor. I'm using a clamp from Small Rig that goes perfectly onto this, that goes perfectly onto the top handle to the monitor. I highly suggest everything. I'm going to link everything in the bio that I use for my camera setup. Kind of what it looks like. I just need the dummy battery and the wires, and that's basically it. And for the monitor, I'm using a Viltrox 5-inch monitor. I've had no issues with this monitor. I'm sure there's better monitors out there. This one, for what I paid, I think it was like around 200 bucks or something like that. It was perfect. I've had no issues with it. You could put an SD card in it. You could throw your LUT on it. It's perfect. It's small. I used to have like a 7-inch monitor. I think with the Feel World, I'm pretty sure everyone's fallen for that 7-inch Feel World monitor. I'm sorry if you have, because I have. They're definitely good at strategizing their freaking products, because they got me. And I used it once and I was like, dude, what am I doing? This thing looks like I'm rocking a 27-inch monitor on top of a freaking camera. So I just never use it again. So I use this newer side handle grip with the power button to start and stop recording. I love this handle. It's perfect. I don't ever got to take my hand off to record, especially on the A7IV, which only has one recording button. Unlike the Fx3, got like 3 of them. So I realistically don't ever have to take my hand off the camera. But I would normally use this on the left side, and then I would use the Small Rig strap on the right side. I prefer the strap on the right side and the handle on the left side. It's just my opinion. It's just what feels better for me. Might not feel better for you. You might be able to switch this around, but I highly suggest this. I know a lot of people don't like the power button. They'd rather just have the handle with no power button. It does drain your battery, but I love it, and I've had no issues with it. It plugs directly into the camera, and it just slides directly onto any NATO rail that you have. It just screws on, and in this case, it's a little bit in the front, which is fine if that's how you like it. I had no choice. I had to leave like this. But on the Fx3, it's a little bit more in the back, which just feels a lot more comfortable. I don't feel like I'm so front heavy rather than being in the back. One wire from the handle to the camera, and that's it. Other than the wires that are required to run this setup, which is just a HDMI, a USB-C, and the dummy D-tap battery, this is the rig. This is the setup that has lasted me and has gotten me through a bunch of gigs. I've literally traveled the world with this setup. So that's basically my entire setup and what I bring when I travel the world. I've gone to Saudi Arabia, I've gone to London. I'm leaving to Atlanta in just 1 week to film another esports event. It was mostly what I do, but I also do automotive content. I do logistic conferences. I've worked with billion-dollar companies, million-dollar companies. I've worked with the biggest gaming organizations in the world, all because I started as a videographer for my best friend, which I still do to this day. So shout out him for getting this started. This is my camera setup. Obviously I use the Fx3 like I said, but I'm using that to film right now. I think this setup alone right here is perfect, and I don't really need much more. Yeah, I'm happy with what I have. I'm happy with what I've done, and this is gonna be a really good year. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the setup. If there's anything you guys want to recommend for the setup that you think maybe I'm doing wrong, or maybe let me know if I inspired you to maybe go and get a certain part on my setup that you didn't think of before? Probably not. Let me know if there's anything you guys want to see down in the comments. I do upload the videos that I filmed for my best friend on my YouTube channel about a month after they're uploaded on his. So I just uploaded one. Go and check it out. It's gonna be somewhere in the top right corner, top left corner. I don't do YouTube that much, so I don't really know. So hopefully you guys can check it out. Leave a like. That was, by the way, that was shot with this setup. Everything going forward is gonna be shot on the Fx3. So hopefully you guys like it, enjoy it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, if there's anything you guys think I need or I should change, let me know down in the comments. I'm open to switching things up. I will never really say no to any recommendations. And yeah, hopefully you guys liked it.
No se me asusten, si les paso super cargado, ruge el doble S cuando doy la vuelta. Ya la muerte ya la tuve cerca, ya ni siento nervios y ya se le. Y ahí pa' acá yo les puse el cerco, nada serio, fácil, pero ya atoramos. Saco el norinco y hasta los tronazos.
I'm having stomach pains, now I'm throwing up, cause I'm a microphone fiend. Give me the bass, give me the beat, now let me lean. Tap the vein, let it stream, feel the pain. Young Martin Luther King with a dream that one day he and my team, we can make it with this rap. And now we swagging, making money in Manhattan. Trick what's happening. They try to intellect with indirections.